Yes, sir.
I hope I'm clearly
Yes,
audible.
sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes. Hello, Satyaram. Yes, it's audible. All right, so let's give maybe another minute and we'll get started. Welcome, everybody to this education and career awareness workshop. Give us another minute, we will get started. I hope my audio video is very clear. Vishwas, maybe you can confirm.
Yes, you are audible, sir.
Oh,
As you told, we will give it another couple of minutes and then we will begin.
sure. All right. So namaste, good evening. Maybe let's get started. So I already see around 40 people who have joined. Okay. Good evening. Welcome to this education and career awareness workshop. So let's get started. Yes, Satyaram sir, over to you.
Yes, sir. Shall we begin? I
Yes, sir.
think it's 1:33.
Yeah.
Yes. Let's begin. Good evening, everyone. My dear parents and students, a warm welcome to this education and career path workshop organized by Button But Tutorials in association with Transformative Lab. So at Button But Academy, we go beyond textbooks. So our personalized learning approach and expert faculty ensure that every student is well prepared for academic and competitive success. So, and we recently received many requests from parents and students to apprise everybody about what are the various career paths available in future and what are the latest technologies and how the career is going to progress in near future. So we are delighted to have you with us today as we embark on this journey to explore the best academic and career opportunities for your future. So in today's dynamic world, making the right educational and career choices is crucial. So this workshop is designed to provide valuable insights, expert guidance, and practical strategies to help students and parents navigate their academic journey with confidence. So today's esteemed speaker will share his knowledge to empower you with the right skills and direction. So now it's my privilege to introduce you all to today's guest speaker. I'm honored to welcome Professor Manjunath Rao. He's a well distinguished career clarity and personality development coach, leadership trainer, and mentor. With over 20 years of experience across IT, non-IT, and education domains, Professor Manjunath has transformed the careers of 9,000 plus individuals globally through training, coaching, and mentoring. As a partner at Button But Tutorials, he is the founder and CEO of Transformative Lab. Professor Manjunath has worked at leadership levels with the top organizations like Siemens, Cisco, Infosys, Samsung, and more. His expertise spans career coaching, leadership development, and transformative training, guiding individuals and organizations towards excellence. He holds prestigious credentials such as Certified Career Analyst, that is CCA, ICF Career Coach, NLP Life Coach, PMI PMP, Lean Sigma Black Belt, and many more. He masterfully blends psychology, artificial intelligence, and technology to drive impactful learning and growth. So we encourage you all to please participate, ask questions, and make the most of this learning experience. So I wish to tell everybody together, let's take a step toward a brighter and more successful future. Over to you, Professor Manjunath, sir. We look forward to your insights and expertise today. Thank you.
Thank you, Satyaram, sir. So great honor to be here, partnering with Button But Tutorials in this journey of transforming, helping our youth to steer our country to the next level. Hello, all. Good evening. Welcome to this this session. let's get started. Give me a moment. All right, is my audio video clear? Can you confirm? Can we get started? Okay. So here you go. Yes, so let me share my presentation. Okay. So in the interest of everybody, we have, in the interest of making the session more clearer for everybody, so we have muted all of you. But in case if you wish to ask any questions, if you have any queries, just drop a message in the chat window. Our team will be able to help you out. Or if you have any questions, just raise your virtual hand. We'll be able to happy to do it. So how I'm planning to do this workshop is, give me first probably around 30-40 minutes. I'm going to quickly walk you through some of the concepts of what is career awareness is all about, what is career counseling is all about, what options do we have if you are talking about, doing something after SSLC, after PUC, which is 10th standard and 12th standard in a broader sense. So we are going to talk about why do we need this career awareness and how we typically do a career selection or an education path selection. What are some of the challenges we face? And what is the right way of doing it? How should we choose a particular career path? And how do we use the power of neuroscience? How do we use the power of artificial intelligence technology in this journey is something we are going to cover about. So it's going to be more of sharing my insights, sharing some of my experiences as a career coach, career mentor, having worked with a lot of students and professionals. Having said that, there are a few activities in between for students to participate, and parents, you can also encourage and you can also do it. And in the process, if you happen to have any doubts, any questions, please note it down, and we'll keep aside around 10-15 minutes towards the end to answer to all your questions. So that we'll cover the things in flow. But having said that, if you have any particular support needed, if you need any post session follow-ups or support from our team, we are very happy to help you out. So with that context, let's get started. So what we are going to talking today is, how do you select the right career using the power of AI and neuroscience? So this is presented in partnership with the Button But Academy. So let me start with few maybe a simple quiz, and you can answer in the chat window. If you look at the world of careers, if you look at the world of jobs or professions, right? Can you take a wild guess? How many possible career paths are available in today's job world? So when I say a career path, let me give an example. The accountant finance can be one career path. Information technology can be one career path. Sports, somebody said football. Yeah, sports and fitness can be one career path. Healthcare or health science can be one. Manufacturing can be one. Any guess how many such career paths are available for youths and students to, study and set up their career, set up their life, or fulfill their dreams? Any guess? Maybe you can just put it in the chat window. How many number of such career paths can be possible? I'm not asking about a specific thing. Probably any guess how many such career paths are available? Like accountant finance, like information technology, like manufacturing. Any wild guess how many such career paths may be available? Okay, yeah, 100 plus. Sujan is saying we are very close to it. It's more than that. All right. Any guess how many? So when you look at the world of careers, the first thing comes is the career path, or what we typically talk about, the different career options, right? And then the next one, what we typically call about is the possible occupations. So when you say an occupation, an example could be within the spectrum of accounting and finance, the chartered accountant could be one line of professions or one line of occupation, right? Like that within IT, software engineering is one of the occupation within software engineering. Like that in healthcare, doctors is one of the stream of occupation available within the healthcare, and so on and so forth. And if you further classify it, we call something called as a job profile. That means in the accounting, there is a chartered accountant, And within chartered accountant, there are different ways of chartered accountants. For example, somebody very specialized in GST, somebody very specialized in maybe a financial analysis, somebody maybe specialized in investment risk management, and so on and so forth. So now, if you are able to get into what I'm trying to share here, any guess how many? Somebody said like around 100 plus or a 200 career paths, which is very close to each other. You're very close to a target. And any guess how many such occupations are possible and how many job profiles are available in the market? Maybe you can type it in the chat window. Somebody said around 1,200 possible occupations. Yeah, thousands of them. You're right, Bhumika. Very well said. Infinity. Pritham is saying, yeah, lot of options. That means we don't know, right? Lot of changes are happening. Absolutely. I agree with you. There are n number of combinations are happening. Now, if you look at a study by Career Development Association and a research by Skill India and other competent authorities shows there are close to 175 different career paths, and there are more than 3,000 different occupations, which equates to around 3 lakh different profiles are available. Is it not outstanding? And if I ask you to list down maybe some of the very popular career paths you are aware about, or some of the popular careers which you usually are aware about, can you type it in the chat window? What are some of the top 5 or 10 careers? I mean, somebody says, what do you want to be? What career you want to choose? What are some of those things which will come to your mind? Can you type it in the chat window? Sports, yeah. Smaran is very clear. Sports, entrepreneur, yeah. Logistics, manufacturer, doctor, lawyer. Very good. What else? AI expert, starting your own business, health service. Yes. Programmer, absolutely. Data analyst, business data scientist. True. Very good. Thank you for that. Prompt engineering. Yeah. Oh, you folks are very much aware about AI and ML. You're talking about prompt engineering and AI. Wow, good to see that. Amazing. So, but what is interesting is neuroscientist. Very good, Hitesh. Good to hear that. Event manager. But you know what? What is interesting is while there are so many number of options are available, but many a times, students, teachers, even sometimes the parents won't be aware that there are so many such options are available. And when we don't know the options, which are the options available, what will tend to happen is we get into something which we are not sure about, or we will just choose some career paths and move ahead kind of a thing. So let's look at some of the mistakes what we typically do. Because there are a lack of awareness about these different options are available, many a times what happens is students end up taking up a very few options like a doctor or a manager or an engineer or a chartered accountant and a scientist. Those are the very widely and few options what we typically know about. And because you are not aware about it, what will happen is you end up getting into a challenge eventually in your professional life. And that's exactly what you can see in the slide. That lack of awareness as well as lack of support or mentoring or a guidance from qualified counselors and mentors will lead to situations where many students, I mean, today I was reading an article that many students who get into a university, they don't complete their courses. Many of them actually commit suicide. Many of them, they kind of get lost and come back to the mainstream of society and trying to figure out what is that I want to do it. So in order not to get into that situation, like there is a way we can actually choose a career or an education path. But if you don't choose your education path and the career path in a scientific way, using the power of neuroscience or AI in the most scientific way, what might happen is we might get into a lot of challenges. And what are some of the mistakes we typically do? If you look at how we usually make career decision, parents are the number one influencers. Of course, they love us, they care for us, they know that my son or daughter wants to be in so and so. There's nothing wrong in it. Of course, they work for us, they support us, they love us. But many a times what happens is parents also may tend to get into that zone of, okay, this is exactly what my son or daughter want to be. Nothing wrong in it. But what might happen is the the kid or a student's their interest, their motivation, their personality, their skills and competencies may be way different than what they are thinking about. And one such mistakes of, if you get into a lot of parental pressure or a peer pressure, or many a times we do that, social pressure, and if we get into that trap, so what might happen is we might end up getting into a wrong education path, or we might get into a wrong career path. Same way, there are different attributes, there are different possibilities of making such decisions. Like, for example, a student is not clear about what are my skills and competencies. A student may not be clear about what are the different options are available. I know, by and large, if you look at the chat window, we talked about medical, engineering, law, IT, and all those stuff, right? Gaming, and few options are the ones which we are aware about. Many a times what we'll do is we end up going to the very, very well known or few of the options, and then we realize, oh my god, I would have done something else, kind of a thing, right? So at the same time, we also don't look at the different options available, the different things which I need to consider. And what might happen is, because of that, so many professionals, if you look at in the current world, they are stressed, they go through a lot of anxiety, and they end up working in a certain area where they are not good at. That will put a lot of pressure on them, and so on and so forth. So in order to avoid such, situations where we want our kids, we want our students, or we want our graduates to choose the right careers and the right education path in a most scientific way. So there are a lot of research has been done of late by using the power of neuroscience and psychology and AI. That's exactly what we are going to talk about. So then, if you don't make a right career choice, we will end up getting into these kind of challenges. So the key message is, career choices are lifetime choices, and we have to take them very, very seriously. Otherwise, what might happen is we might end up losing a precious our time in the early part of our life, which is meant for learning, which is meant for earning and learning and growing. We might end up resetting, we might end up going through a lot of changes, and that's not much productive about it. So then you may be wondering, yes sir, we understand this. At the same time, I am also confused. There are many options are available in terms of arts, commerce, and humanities and science, and so many options. Even within engineering, if I want to go, there are 30, 40 different options are available. Which one should I go for? Should I look into what is highly in demand? Should I look into what is really interesting for me? Well, you have an answer to that, which is coming up. If you look at the earlier generation, yeah, like okay, sure. Let me ask this question. Anybody here in the chat window, just type me in. Anyone who doesn't understand Kannada? Let me ask in the other way. Since I got a message that you want to also have some kind of a conversation happening in Kannada, let me ask, is there anybody in the call who doesn't understand Kannada? Can we do more of an Konglish? Okay, there's one person saying Nihal Sagar is not able to understand. Okay, anybody else? Okay. Lishan, what I'll do is I will try to mix wherever possible. If you are not able to follow up, just let me know. Okay, I get you. No problem. So I'll keep it in a very simple English. But in case if you are not able to understand, just reach out to me. I'll be able to maybe have an one-to-one session and make it a little more clear to you. Okay. So how was the careers earlier? So we used to be like a typical careers or a profession, like a doctor, an architect, an engineer, and you study well, you settle, you get into a job, and you do all those stuff, which is good, nothing wrong in it. But the landscape is changing now. If you look at the new generation careers or a new generation professions, right? It is not yet another a simple go to the job 9 to 6 and do kind of a thing. It is more like a very much involvement is required. You have a good demand. You need to learn a lot, and stuff, so on and so forth. So if you are talking about that, then we also have to look at the changing landscape of careers. What skills and competencies do I need to learn? And how do I cope up with this? And how do I choose the right career is something we need to look into. Just a quick introduction. When I was a student, if somebody asked me, I used to say that I wanted to be a professor of physics, right? But as life moved on, I realized, and when I was talking to one of my physics professor, he told me that, hey, don't get into the physics, pure physics. Go to an applied physics, which is electronics. Then there was one more professor who was influencing me, and no, you should become a doctor. I was confused between a engineer and a doctor, and finally I went through the both counseling, both sessions, and like I was trying to task which one should I go. And finally, when I looked at all my friends and they said, okay, let's go to engineering, and I also kind of went. And this is typically some of we do that kind of a mistake, right? Just go with the flow, just go with the friends, just go with the you know stuff, right? So then what happened is I completed my engineering, and then I started working with some of the leading organizations like HCL, Crompton Greaves, and Samsung. And initially within 3-4 years, I realized that I am not meant to be a very very good engineer. Though I was a good engineer, but my heart was saying no. I think I'm meant for doing something else. And then that's where I ended up doing my post graduation in MBA. And then I realized in the last few years that I like really working with people, training them, coaching them, mentoring them, teaching them, and stuff like that. And then I moved to more into psychology, and then that's where I've been doing. So why I'm sharing this story is many of us, the choice of careers is it's not like a one time kind of a thing. So we end up choosing something and then figuring it out what is really close to my heart, what is close to my skills and competencies, and then navigate the conversation moving forward. All right. So a quick introduction, as Satyaram sir said, my name is Manjunath. Been working as a career coach and a mentor and a trainer. Been partnering with Button But in a lot of skill initiatives. So we work with students, we work with colleges, we work with a lot of universities to fulfill the skills gap, right? By doing a lot of trainings and coaching and mentoring. The career coaching and guidance is one of the things what we have been doing it together. So I'm very, very happy to be here. So let's look at some of the new age careers, right? Why we are talking about the new age careers is that the gone are those days where people say that okay, you just do this job, do this study, get your MBA, get your CA, and you're all set. No, that's not happening. If you look at the job world, the education or the primary education what we get is only a one part of the story. What is primarily needed is the changing landscape of the careers, which is, if you look at the new age careers, which was not heard about in the previous, last 20 years or 30 years. Somebody said game designing, somebody said app designing, ethical hacking, UX designing, right? Organic food growing, biotechnology, investment banking, life coaching, nutrition. Many of these careers were never heard about maybe 20, 30 years ago, right? Many of them have coming up like data science and artificial intelligence. The same way, a lot of changes are happening in the technology and industrial market, which will drive all these. Yes, of course, investment, trader. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, but what is one thing we need to understand is these new age careers also comes with something called as the new age skills. But unfortunately, these are the certain things we don't get to learn in the schools. Not all of them, but few of them you get to learn, but few of them as a parents, we need to encourage kids and students to learn these skills and competencies from wherever the right potential opportunities are available. While we are working Button But Academy, and some of us are working closely with schools and colleges to fulfill these skills gap through Skill India Mission and many of those things. But it's very very clear, if you go to the industry, there is no lack of jobs are available, but just that when you go and ask the hiring person, hiring manager, or hiring company, they say that you know what, they talk about degree, they talk about diploma, but we don't have the core skills which is required, the problem solving skills, critical thinking skills, working together as a team, the presentation skills and people skills. Many of these things we need to learn along with your academics, and that's where this will become very very critical for all of us, right? So the fundamental message here is, it is not that if you study a science or a commerce and all those stuff that is good enough. Of course, that is the crux of it. That is the core skill, what we call about a hard skill or a core skill. Along with that, as a students, we need to learn or focus on some of these skills like analytical skills, digital skills, technology skills, which is your core skills, and the behavioral skills, which is the communication skills, right? Just give me a minute. Okay. Any questions so far? Maybe you can type it in the chat window. Any questions so far? Can you type it in the chat window? Are we good? Yes. So Manikandan is saying, I love training and sharing my knowledge with a lot of people. Same here, sir. I like psychology. Very good. Very good. Absolutely. Good. Yes. Give me a minute. Yes, Vishwas, you need to give me a permission to share my screen. All right, very good. Thank you for that. Yes. So if you come back to this slide, what it's essentially saying is it is not just your core skills, which is maybe accounting or a science or an arts or a commerce, but we need to learn the analytical skills, the digital skills, and the behavioral skills. All right. So now the question may be, okay, you talked about a lot of skills, you talked about a lot of gaps and all those stuff. Then how do I take it forward? So what will become very important is what we call as a career planning. Okay. And that is where we're going to talk about what is career planning, what is career counseling, and how it's going to help you. So career planning is a very structured way of figuring it out who you are, where you are, or where you want to be, and then how do you achieve such kind of a goal. And what are the parameters we need to look into? Usually what we look into is the future of the career, or we look into only the market demand for a particular job or a particular profession. While which is good, what we also need to look into is some of the other parameters. For example, what is your intrinsic skill? What is your extrinsic skill? What is your interest? What is your personality? What is your values and motivation? A combination of all these things will be able to give you a sweet spot to get into a good job. And let me ask you this question. Somebody may be thinking, why are we talking about personality? How does it impact? Why we should consider personality as one of the parameters in choosing the right career? Let me ask you this question. So I have shown a doctor on a doctor as a career on the screen. Can you type it in the chat window? What are some of the attributes are required to be a successful doctor? If you want somebody to be a good doctor, what are some of the attributes required to be a doctor? Yeah. Can you type in? Yeah. Of course, you need a degree. You need your deeper study. You need talent. What talent do you need? Somebody is saying, yeah, patience to serve. Very good. Very good. Passion to serve. Very nice. Silence, degree, patience, kindness. Yes. Pass the NEET exam. Of course, you need to pass the exam. But is that good enough? Is that good enough? Communication skills. Of course, yes. Doctor need to be expert in their own area, dedication, experience. Very nice, very well said. So if you look at somebody has to be a very good, successful doctor, that person has to have a service mindset. They need to have a good analytical skill. They need to have an empathetical skills. They need to also balance between being analytical and being empathetic, because they need to handle patients. Very well said. Somebody said, it's a very sensitive topics many a times. How do you communicate? For example, you would have met a couple of doctors, right? One doctor you are like very, very fond about. You love those doctors to go to them, because the way they talk to you, the way they connect with you, the way they give you an inspiration or motivation to come out of your health issues, right? Whereas the other doctors are like, what happened? Take this pill and come back. So will you go to such kind of doctor? You won't go, while they may be an expert. So what I'm trying to say is each career comes with its own personality attributes. If your personality matches to those career attributes, you will be able to be a very, very successful in that career path. The similar way, if you look at a teacher, what are some of the attributes required to be a successful teacher? Can you type in the chat window? What kind of teachers do you like in your school or colleges? Somebody who is very confident, yeah. Somebody who is endurance, very true. Soft skill, of course. What I'm not here talking about is whether they are a BA, BSc, B.Ed. All those primary qualification is definitely required. But what I'm talking about is their personality. They need to love teaching, right? They need to have a good supporting to the student, understanding, connected to the student, explain the complex problems in a simple way, right? Subject knowledge, love the work. Absolutely. Very, very well said. Patience, right? And connect and have a social service mindset, correct? Very good. Very good. Kind understandings. Very good. What about pilots? What about fighter jet pilots? What kind of an personality is required for that? Braveness, absolutely. Concentration, very well said, Manikandan. Because patriotic, very good. Target, act like a friend between the students. I mean, fitness, physical fitness, brave, skillness. Yeah, very well said, folks. Very good. Because if you look at a pilot, they need an undivided attention. I mean, very sharp in terms of analytical and communication and to the target and confidence level, a clear communication and whatnot, right? And yeah, proper eyesight, physical fitness, and have to be very, very quick in terms of logical decision making. It cannot be an emotional decision. I'm driving my pilot, I mean, my fighter jet, and somebody, putting me into a lot of emotional situation. I need to be very, very analytical to, yeah, mental strength, handle certain situations. Very, very well said. So that mental stuffness or stiffness, what we call about, it's very much required for such kind of a role. So if you see here, right, another role, which is an architect or more of a what we call a designer or an architect. Yeah, experience in flying hours definitely required. So now look at an architect. What kind of a personality is required for an architect? Has to be very creative, have to be very creative thinking. Absolutely. What else? What else is required for an architect kind of a role? Yeah, judging, creative, mindfulness. Very true, very true. And they need to be also, yeah, imaginative, intuitive, planning and drawing. Very well said, folks. Yes. So an architect will be able to do it. It is basically like we'll give one or two lines of requirement to an architect. He or she will create that blueprint, and from that the entire building will emerge, or from that the entire product will emerge. So you need to have that creativity and planning and converting the idea into a product, right? That's a different skills and competencies altogether. And the personality has to be very, very intuitive, very imaginative, very, yeah, good communication skills for sure. Or maybe you need to have that a clear artistic kind of skills are required. So now I hope you got what I'm trying to say. So each career requires you to have a certain personality. And if I ask you what is your personality, will you be able to tell me? Many a times we tell, yeah, I think I am creative. I think I'm good in this. Yeah, I may be good in this, but no. So many a times what we don't know is what is my personality? What are my attributes? So by and large, your parents will know, your siblings will know, your teachers will know, your close friends may be able to describe you in a certain way at a very, very high level. But many a times when I ask this, what is your personality attributes? Tell me what are your attributes? People will try to, oh, okay, I think I am aware of a few of those things, not everything. So that also makes us a career choices difficult because I don't know what I don't know, right? So then the second most also one of the important thing we should also look into is your interest, right? Not everybody will have a same interest towards a career. Some of us will be very, very investigative. What do you mean by investigative? Somebody who is very analytical, who want to investigate, who want to, do a lot of research kind of a thing. Now, type it in the chat window. What kind of, yeah, curiosity. You are right, Lishan. So type it in the chat window. What kind of career options are more suited for a people who have a lot of interest towards investigation? Put it in the chat window. Let's see. Yeah, IPS, police, law. Very good. Detective, CID. Very good. What else? Forensic. Very well said. What else? Administration. Administration maybe, may not be. Yeah. Ra. Screen agent. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah. Is it not even scientists who core science research, right? Product research, treasure hunter. That was a nice one. Yeah, even the scientists, right? If you want to find out some molecule, if you want to come out with a lot of, yeah, forensic is also requires an investigation, right? So a more of a research scientist, the R&D kind of people, the police and all those things, they need to have a lot of interest towards investigation. That will be the driving factor. Now, tell me, what are some of the career options which are suited for people who are very, very artistic? When I say an artistic, these are the people who are very imaginative, very creative, very they can create, they can draw, paint, dance, and come out with a lot of creative thinking, imaginative kind of a thinking. Yeah, you are right. Author, journalist. Yeah, what else? Designers, animators, very good. UX designers, game designers. AI, of course, AI, there's a two element to it. AI has a lot of logical element to it, which requires you to be an investigative. The artistic part of AI could be something like you are creating animation and those stuff. Using AI, or maybe you are creating a lot of animation. Editor, interior designer, very well said. Interior designers, UX designers, game designers, mobile app designers, many of those fashion designers, right? Sculpture, entrepreneur. Yeah, entrepreneur, I would say that entrepreneurship, you can have many interests combined together and you can become an entrepreneurs. Coders, why do you need artistic to be a coder? You may not need an artistic to be a coder, right? But if you are, of course, if you are designing an app, if you are designing an animation using some software language, of course, you need to have that artistic and these things coming forward. Very nice, sir. Very well said. Social media influencers, very well said. Let me ask you the next one, which is a social interest. Somebody who is interested in making a difference to the society, who wants to serve, who wants to work with people, who wants to make a difference to the people, who wants to serve community, right? What are some of the options are available? Yeah, IAS could be MLAs, politicians, NGO, a gamer. How go gamer? I'm not able to connect it. Teachers, very well said. Doctors, yeah, teachers, trainers, coaches, mentors, counselors, yeah, social leadership, social work. Absolutely, absolutely. Teachers and NGOs and gamers and all the stuff. Very, very well said. Thank you so much. What about enterprising? Somebody was asking entrepreneurs, right? Enterprising can be more of somebody who wants to start their own stuff and lead and sell and market and all those stuff, right? So now, have you ever wondered some of these emerging countries like Japan and China and some of those Europe and US countries, if you see the talent and the kind of how they handpick few people, how they are able to get a good amount of patents, good amount of awards in say Olympics, they do something called as a career interest test in the high school. Okay, this is a freely available test. You can also try it out, called Holland Code or Career Interest Test if you search it. So what it does is it asks certain questions, and based on that, it will tell you that what are some of the best career options for you based on your interest. And if I ask some of you, what are your main interests, you may say that, okay, looks like I have interest in all those stuff. Now you tell me what career is suitable for me. It doesn't happen like that. In a psychology or a neuroscience way, what we say is an individual will have an interest in all these topics, but primarily they will be having a three key interest, and based on those three key interests, the people have to select select a career which is more in line with their interest and the personality. Okay, that's the background. The third most important thing which should keep in mind is something called as skills and competencies, because if you look at any job or if you go to any organizations, why they pay you, why they will hire you is for your skills, right? The skills is the game in the industry. Now you may be wondering, if I ask you what kind of skills and competencies do you have, you may be saying, okay, I'm good at this, I'm good at that, I know this, but I'm not good at this kind of a thing. So what brain science or a neuroscience says is that by the time the in the brain development start in a child, and by the time they reach adolescence or maybe around 18 years, lot of these skills and competencies will get developed by the environment, influence of environment and educations and parents and teachers, the kind of study they do, what kind of study they do, and all those stuff. So over a period of time, what we develop is skills and competencies in these main areas, what we typically call the Harvard-Gartner multiple intelligence. Numerical ability is nothing but how good you are in terms of your numbers, basic arithmetic operations like addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, all those stuff. Logical reasoning is logical ability. You know about it, right? How do you differentiate between few things? Verbal ability, how do you communicate using your own language? It can be English, it can be anything else. The clerical and organizing, how organized are you? How planned are you? Right? Visualization skills, leadership skills, social and cooperative skills, and mechanical abilities. So these 8 skills are the primary things which will drive you towards a successful career in your life. A combination of your personality, combination of your interest, and the skills and competencies is something which will put you on a right track. Now, if I ask you, what are your key skills and competencies? Some of you may say that I am good in numerical ability, but I don't know how much good I am. I am good at logical ability, but I'm not sure whether it's really good or where am I? I'm not sure. A similar way, all these parameters, there is a way to measure it. There is a way to assess what are your skills and competencies. And based on that, we'll be able to recommend you what are some of the best career options. For example, let me tell you, if somebody wants to be an engineer or want to be a designer or want to be in an AI field, designing an AI, you need to be really, really good in numerical ability and logical abilities, because you end up doing a lot of programming, you will be doing a lot of designs and engineering stuff. But what if you hate mathematics, you are not good at mathematics? Can you think about being in that profession? You can, but it becomes very, very hard for you. You may not be the best of the best engineer who can design those systems. You can still become one, but you may not be the best, is what I'm trying to say. Similar way, knowing your personality and interest and all the skills, competencies, where you are today and how you can improve over a period of time is the game how you should choose your career path, is what we are trying to say. So in the interest of time, I will skip this exercise. Probably we'll move on. So with all these things, what I'm trying to say is we need to understand your abilities, skills, and competencies, your interest, and of course, what are the opportunities available in the market. So once all these things are clear, you will be able to make a right career decision. And that's exactly what we do in career guidance, what we call career counseling or career guidance or career mentoring, right? So yeah, somebody is asking, I want to be a medical science. What are the abilities are required? We'll talk about it. So now what we typically do in career counseling is we'll help you to know. Can you please stop doing these annotations? It's kind of annoying everybody, please. Yeah, students, please. Let me see if I can turn it off. Okay, yeah. So what we typically do in career counseling or career guidance is we'll help you to find out who you are, what are your skills and competencies, what are you real good at it, what is that you should be building towards a successful career. Okay, that's exactly what we do it. Now what I'll talk about is few things about how Buttonbutt and Career Transformative Lab can help you out. So essentially what we do is we do this career awareness workshops in different schools and colleges. We also do it in public domain, like the way we are doing, workshop to create awareness to students, create awareness to parents and stuff like that. Not just that, we in this process, we'll also give your awareness about what is that you can do after SLC and PUC, stream-wise and all those stuff. And it is not just that, we'll also talk about, we also provide you and help by using a neuroscience and AI powered platform, a software platform, which will be able to test your personality, your interests, your skills, your competencies, your motivations, and many other parameters. And based on that, out of all those 200 different career paths and job profiles available, we will be able to help you and navigate you which one is the right thing for you. It is like this, how a doctor does a blood sample and report and provides the most possible options, what could have gone wrong or what is the best thing to do it. Similar way, these multidimensional career analysis using the AI and neuroscience is the most scientific way of figuring it out, who you are, what your skills and competencies. Based on that, you can make a logical decision. Should I go to science? Should I go to commerce? Should I go to arts? Or if I am in science, which is that I should go for, and so on and so forth. And this is something we do for students as well as for graduates and even for professionals. Many professionals comes to us because they choose a career, but later they'll start figuring out, oh my God, I'm not in the right career. I want to change it, and so on and so forth. In this also process, we also help in terms of, as Satyaram Bhatt sir was saying, we'll help you in terms of career guidance. We can also help you in terms of you are looking at studying abroad in different universities and stuff like that, and preparing for those entrance exams and so on and so forth. And it's not just that. In the course of career counseling, you see that there are skill gaps are available. You're not so good in many of those new age skills where you need to fulfill those gaps. We'll be able to fulfill those gaps with the help of many trained experts in the industry. They conduct a lot of these trainings and coaching and mentoring sessions to fulfill those gaps, and that's exactly what we have been doing along with the collaboration with Button in schools, colleges, and individuals, right? This is some of the case studies where we have been doing a lot of these workshops and helping thousands of students and colleges across India. Some of our customers and their feedback and credentials and their testimonials, just for your information. So what we do is assume that somebody is not very clear about what is that path they want to go for it. What we do is we do a simple career test which will be able to tell what are your key skills and personalities and gaps and many of those stuff with the help of a trained career expert, career guidance expert. You will be able to talk to them and they will be able to guide you further. And out of 3 or 4 or 5 choices, what you have in mind, you will be able to navigate to maybe 1 or 2, and based on that, you can make a further decisions. Now, you may be wondering, how do we do it? We use an AI platform or a neuroscience-based AI platform. We have partnered with a lot of these research scientists, and we have developed many of these AI algorithms over a period of time to match it to the actual industry profiles, how the jobs are, how they are doing, what is being doing, and stuff like that. Now, if you look at this report, many people in the industry claim that they are 90%, 95%, 100%. We don't claim that. A career guidance, end of the day, is more like in counseling or in guidance to navigate student and parent to make the right decisions. So that means it's going to be a mutual conversation led. So there will be a margin of error. That's why we are saying 80 to 85% of our algorithm and reports is accurate in terms of giving you a guidance what is the right path for you. And how do we do it is, first is we'll make you to do a test, and then that will look into all your skills and competencies. And then based on that, we usually have a kind of a session, guidance session to recommend you. And once you take the test, you'll also get an access to our online portal where you have a lot of information about all these careers and colleges and tests, and many of those things are available. Not just that, if there are any skill gaps are there are free training programs are available where through using which you will be able to fulfill those skills gap to build a solid career from a long-term perspective. So what is that our test looks into? It looks at your skills, your interests, personality, and many of those elements, which is essentially required. And this is exact, and this is available in multiple languages. You can try it out, and this is a sample report, how the report will look like. So this is a very extensive 70-page report, which will give you a lot of details about how a student is in terms of the skills, competencies, their mindset. What are some of the best career options for them? What are some of the education best suited for them in the journey, so that it helps them to navigate better. So because of this research and the work being done by our platform, which is a edutech platform, we have got the national startup award, and we got an opportunity to represent India in Sweden innovation and so on and so forth. What I'm trying to say is you can trust the platform and its credibility is what I'm trying to say. Okay. So let me stop it here in terms of giving you an overview of what is career counseling, what is the need of a career counseling, how an AI neuroscience can help you to make a decision. Now, what I'll do is quickly run you through what are some of the options which are available for science stream, commerce stream, and art stream after your 10th grade. All right. So let's deep dive into that. So by default, once you are done with your 10th standard or an SSLC, the most sought after programs is what we call a PUC or a 11th grade or a 12th grade, right? And you have 3 major streams in India. What we call, like, it's interestingly, if you go to other countries other than India, there they will give you a combination of arts, commerce, and science. You can pick and choose, but unfortunately that is still, it's coming up. We are hoping that the new education policies and a lot of changes which is happening in our system will eventually lead us to that, where a student will be able to combine arts, commerce, and science together based on their interest, their skills and competencies to come out with a multi-dimensional study model, which is coming up. But yeah, but as of now, once your 10th is done, you are kind of have to decide whether you want to get into an arts or a humanitarian or a commerce or a science. And these combinations are available, you all know. I don't have to talk too much about it, but not just the PUC, you also have ITI programs. ITI programs are typically a very quick and get into a job kind of a program, short-term programs conducted by many government institutions. This is basically where if somebody is not able to afford their education further and they want to just do some course and get into a work stream, that's something they can do it. And the alternate to that is diploma programs. And there are diploma programs for engineering as well as non-engineering. Non-engineering could be like web designing and fashion designing and all those stuff. A word of caution, these both diplomas, engineering and non-diplomas, are offered by both government organization and private organizations. You need to be a little bit mindful about where you are choosing, how you are choosing, because many of those programs may be accredited by the government for your further studies, but some of them may not be accredited. So you need to be a little careful about it. And it is not just those diploma programs. You can also do what is called as paramedical diploma programs. So these are all, again, quick and early access to the job market. If you do a medical lab technician or X-ray, MRI, and many of those dental technicians, it is all short-term programs, like 6 months to 1 year kind of a program. You just do that and you'll be able to get into an work stream. You can start earning quickly and then later pursue your graduation or post-graduation programs. And again, there are government jobs are available even based on the 10th grade, and there are many other options are now available. All right. So I'm going to spend maybe another 10 minutes to quickly run you through the little more details of it. If you go to a science stream, there are the main entry point for the science stream is what we call as a mathematics, which we call, the king or a queen, right? That's without mathematics is we can't talk about much about it. So if you talk about mathematics, there are multiple things it opens up opportunities for you, right? From your data science to pilot to cyber security to IT and marine engineering or video game, anything and everything around the engineering is centered around the mathematics. So my humble request to all the students is focus on mathematics, which will come a long way in your life. You are irrespective of whether go to a science stream or a commerce stream. Even for the art student, somebody getting into a design field, the mathematics will become a very, very fundamental skills. Now, in career world, what we typically talk about is your interest and mathematics subject or a particular subject. For example, if you are interested in technology and mathematics, these are the options. If you are interested in mathematics and management, these are the options. Don't worry too much about it. All this information is available on our website, or we'll be happy to give you this PDF copy of these details in the after the session is done. Just focus on some of those things what we are talking about. Like if you get into physics, there are multiple options available in terms of astronomy, astrophysics, nuclear science. You can become a science content writer, a book writer, anthropology, archaeology, right? And typically we are not sure. Somebody says physics. Oh, physics. What can you do after doing physics? There are n number of opportunities are available. And in fact, what I've been hearing is India is in need of a pure science research scientist in pure physics, pure chemistry, and biology, because the multiple grants are available, multiple PhD options are available. After that, you can get into an industry, or you can also get into teaching field if somebody is interested in the research field or a teaching field kind of a thing, right? And if you look at chemistry, again, it opens up plethora of opportunities in terms of petrochemical, material research, forensics. Somebody was talking about forensics, right? Forensics can be from an engineering stream. It can be from a pure science stream. After doing your biology and chemistry, you can get into an forensic. After doing your IT, you can get into forensic from a cyber security perspective, right? There are multiple angles you can approach a forensic science. Toxicologist, water technology, water is becoming a scarcity. That there are people, who are experts in water treatment, converting, water from non-potable to potable one. That's the biggest thing you can talk about. And biology is again, the n number of opportunities are available. But usually when we talk about biology, students think that the doctor is the only one. No, you can become a dentist, you can become hospital management, yoga, naturopathy, biotechnology, agriculture, veterinary science, and within the medical itself, people related as well as this one. Yeah, Chetan is asking, is it good to choose two careers? Well, I would say at the beginning, when you are in this early stage of your studies, you can keep 2 or 3 as an option, as an entry point. And then later you'll be able to figure it out what is the main line career and the second line career. For example, somebody is interested in sports, but you know that you will not be able to make maybe a good entry point or money in that particular industry. What typically people do is they work in certain industry as a mainline career, but they start building a second career maybe in the sports or a music or a dance, and over a period of time they balance it out and see how I can make the one each other either a main line or a secondly as a passion. All right. So in biology, again, you have genetics, microbiology, physiology, environment science, food science, dairy technology, biochemistry, nursing, pharmacy. Biology opens up multiple opportunities: bioinformatics, clinical research, epidemiology, hydrology, nutrition, dietitian, biomedical engineering. Somebody was talking about biomedical engineering, right? So biomedical engineering, you need to have a good amount of know-how of biology and engineering and technology, optometry, audiology. If you look at biology, if you combine it with technology, there are n number of possibilities are there, like what you see on the screen, right? Forensic and stuff like that. In psychology, physics, combination of biology and physics, many of these things are possible in the world of biology. All right. All right. So, any questions so far? Put it in the chat window, and we'll definitely will take it up. Maybe I need another 5-10 minutes to complete this commerce and art stream, and then we'll spend good amount of time for Q&A. Okay, what about commerce? So commerce again opens up a lot of opportunities. Yeah. So you can become a graduation in commerce. You can get into accounting, cost, work accounting, cost management, banking, import and export, financial management, financial analyst, financial planner, risk management, stock broking, investment banking, portfolio management, business process outsourcing, retail management, sales, marketing and media and communication, logistics and supply chain, legal routes, economy, company secretary. See, a lot of opportunities are available if you get into a commerce stream. Again, if you combine commerce with data, if you combine commerce with management skills or with the technology, it again get into a lot of opportunity for you to move forward. Right? Similar way, usually in the past, people used to think that, okay, if you want to really make a good career, you need to be either in a science or a commerce. But gone are those days. You can also make a good career and money and entrepreneurs and get into a lot of innovative things by even getting into a humanitarian field. So there is a good studying in outer country after do. Of course, there are opportunities available in the other countries after PUC. You can definitely explore both graduation and post graduation. You can try it out. Okay, so there were days where we used to think that, okay, science and commerce is the only way. Those gone are those days. Now ample number of opportunities are available even for humanitarian or an art stream. What are those? What are those options are available? Psychology. Psychology is a very, very wild applied subject in multiple. There are sports psychology, children's psychology, application of psychology in marketing, and psychology is used in a lot of organization in terms of hiring and people development. And that's exactly what I've been doing. I'm working with a lot of corporates, helping psychometric tests to find out the real talent and help them in finding the right leadership, and how do you develop them and so on and so forth. Psychology is the most widely again considered subject. You can approach psychology from science angle as well as from a humanitarian or arts angle. Yeah, history, political science, international relationship, language itself, like English or Hindi or Kannada, right? Fine arts, right? Fine arts used to be like, it used to be considered earlier more like a, passion, but now you have visual arts. A lot of, support is being given by the government in terms of, creating cinematography and a lot of product design. Everything is based on the fine arts as a subject, visual art, right? And graphical designing, fashion designing, journalism, hotel management, government services, right? Graphic designing, beauty and personal grooming, interior designing, UX designing, content writers, liberal arts, visual merchandising, social media marketing, app designing. A lot of such options are available even with the art based or a combination of arts and science and arts and commerce is something which you can definitely look into. And by now, you would have also realized what about some of those streams where it doesn't matter whether you're coming from a science stream or a commerce stream or an science, commerce or an art stream. Of course, like legal service, law, if you want to be a lawyer, LLB, you can approach either from being a science stream, a commerce stream, or even from an art stream. Or if you want to become an MBA, you want to do an MBA and get into a leadership management kind of a role, again, it can be from any stream. But however, if you are coming from an art stream, you have to prove that you are good in terms of mathematics, because all the entrance tests, what we typically call about GMAT or a CAT or any MBA entrance test, you need to be very, very good in terms of numerical abilities and logical abilities. And that's exactly where in Button But we do a lot of coaching for these professional entrance examinations, right? The mathematics will become a fundamental skills for getting into this MBA kind of a college. And if you want to be a content writer, an entrepreneur, or if you want to be a teacher, right? Hospitality, tourism, KAS, IAS, all those civil services, right? You can approach it from any of these streams. You can become you can get into this. And that's why we call it as stream agnostic career paths. You can choose any of those stuff if you are thinking from a long-term perspective. Okay. And similar way, once you are clear about arts, science, or a commerce, again, it opens up multiple opportunities after 12th, which is again, and people think that medical means only MBBS. No, there are other options in terms of Ayurveda, homeopathy, dental, veterinary, physiotherapy, naturopathy, Siddha, Unani, audiology, rehabilitation science. You can become a doctor in many of these things. And if you look at the healthcare industry, the doctors are only a 15-20% of the overall career. But what is lying is more in terms of pharmacy, in terms of nursing, in terms of cardiology specialist, the imaging, X-ray, MRI, and many of those things are available as a graduation programs with a lot of collaboration with hospitals, where you can get to experience many of those things are possible. And paramedical, what we talk about. And if you want to get into engineering, it is not just about IT or computer science or an electronics. You have more than 50 such options are available. Of course, not all of them have a good market in the demand for the market and the job, but of course, many of them are very unique. And my request to all of you is, if somebody is want to get into an engineering, look at from how you can become a top notch in your particular area. It need not be just a AI or a computer science, but it can be any of those things, how you can be a top notch in those areas. And of course, pure science, we talked about, many options are available in terms of BA, BCom, law, architecture. Nowadays, there are a lot of integrated programs are available. After doing your PUC or at 12th, you can get into BSc, B.Ed, BA, MSc, and integrated law programs, integrated chartered accountant, and many of those integrated programs are becoming very, very popular because of what we call special universities, right? They come out with a lot of job oriented programs. They give you a many specialized program for you to establish yourself in a niche area to become. Automobile, yes, of course, automobile is a good emerging field in the industry. And not just that, along with all those stuff, you have many diploma programs are available for PUC. Once you are done with the PUC, it is both engineering as well as non-engineering. And using this diploma as an entry point for a job market, you can also pursue graduation, post-graduation, and PhD after doing your diploma programs. Now, you may be wondering, okay, so many options you are showing it, sir. How do I know it? Don't worry about it. So we'll usually classify all those career into a logical groups called a 19 career groups. And each career group has its own detailed paths, as we talked about. Like multiple options are available. So now what I will do is, if you go to our website, which is careertest.transformative-lab.coach, which we are going to share in a while, all this information is available. You don't have to worry too much, how do I remember? So for example, if somebody wants to be a designer or an architect, if you click on that, it talks about what is the career description, what opportunities are available, how do you get into this particular career path, what are the work description, and if you look at here, right, what is that you need to study to get into this particular career stream is very, very well explained. For example, there are 5 pages to talk about right from your basic graduation till PhD. Right? What are the options is available if you get into this particular stream? Similar way, if you take For example, I'm just show you one of them so that you can get used to it. For example, computer science or an IT, right? We usually think that computer means only a developer. No. So we have a lot of options like a data scientist, big data, cyber security, blockchain, network administrator, IT manager, web development, IT support, game development, mobile app development, and a lot of things are possible. And then again, what is that you need to study to get into all these informations are provided here. But you may be wondering, sir, I'm not clear about what is that I want to be. That's where you can approach us. We'll be able to give you a test and figure it out. The other one is if somebody says, sir, I'm very, very interested in, say, sports. What are the options available for a sport? So if you come here, you also find something called as stream information. If you go here, if you click on, say, sports, it'll open up a page which will talk about what are the options available, what are the different sports, what education options are available, how do you build a career out of a sports, and so on and so forth. So essentially what I'm trying to say is all these sub careers and main career groups, all this information is available, just that you need to um, go through it and do it. Now the whole game here is you may be by now you would have figured it out. Okay, there are so many options are available. Then how do I choose which one is suitable for me, right? So don't worry. That is where, as I said, you will be able to use the advanced neuroscience and AI technology to look into your interest, your career, I mean, your motivation, your personality, and many of those parameters. And then based on that, you will be able to make a right choice for you. With that, I am done with my presentation. What we will do is at the end of the session, those who are present in this session, we are going to give you a free career test, right? You'll be able to take this test. And when you sign up and take this test, it will give you a basic one-pager report. But if somebody is interested to have a detailed 70-page report, or along with that, you want to have a detailed one-to-one conversation with some of our expert team of counselors, please do reach out to one of your centers where you have enrolled with ButtonButt, or we'll share our contact numbers and email IDs. You reach out to us, we'll be able to happy to do that. And thank you so much from my side. I know I took more than an hour to give you an overview, and in many places I know I was rushing it. My idea was to give you an overview, and if you need more support, more details, happy to do more sessions. And in fact, through ButtonButt, what we are planning is this is just a curtain raiser or a beginning. We want to conduct more workshops for parents, in terms of helping parents to build these skills, right? What we are talking about, 21st century essential skills. How do we build it? And we are also looking at hosting many of such webinars for students in terms of preparing for the examination, improving your memory. How do you manage your time? How do you handle your stress? How do you get well prepared for the exam? And many of those elements we are planning to bring it up, to help our students to succeed in their studies, succeed in successfully make a long-term career, and find success in their long-term life. So with that, I am done. Over to you, Satyaram sir. And as I said, we are going to share some of these information via email and messages, and you'll be able to connect to us. And if you have any further questions, so let me know. We'll be happy to spend another 5-10 minutes. Okay, sir, through aeronautical engineering, do I have to choose to become a pilot? While there are, to become a pilot, there are multiple options. One is if you want to be a fighter jet through a military thing, you need to go through an NDA exam, National Defense Academy. And after your PU, you'll be able to join Air Force and then get into a pilot stage. The other option is even after doing your aeronautical engineer, aerospace engineering, or a mechanical engineer, after engineering, you can join short service commission. There again, you will be able to serve in terms of military or avionics. But if you want to be a commercial pilot, you want to fly those commercial aeroplanes, after doing your PUC, you need to join something called as a aviation school, right? They will consider your PCMB score, not biology, but mainly the PCM score. And they will do an aptitude test. They will test your numerical abilities, your mental sharpness, and many of those skills and competencies what we talked about. And if you are through, they will make you to join a flying school, and you need to complete a couple of years of training in terms of a pilot. After completing that, you will get a license. to join as a flying officer, right? And then after, there are certain criteria available. After passing through those criteria, you'll be able to become a main pilot to fly those bigger mumbo jumbo jets. Okay, that's about pilot. Yeah, absolutely, Raja. Thank you so much for that. It's just a beginning. It's very difficult to cover everything in an hour, I understand. But yes, so we'll be happy to have more information and further discussions. Yeah, does the veterinary science has a scope? Of course, it has. While if you look at from a government sector, while the number of jobs may be less, but many private dairy farms and animal husbandry and animal related companies are coming up for food related to animals and all is picking up. There you have a lot of opportunities for veterinary science. And the biggest advantage with veterinary kind of a science is the number of colleges are less, the number of people coming out of are also less. So the demand and supply is kind of matched. Unlike you would have heard recently, so many engineers are in the market, but the jobs are very, very minimal. That situation is not there, at least in many of these things. Yeah, merchant navy, I didn't cover it. Praneeth, thank you so much for that. Yes, merchant navy is a very, very interesting topic again. After doing your 12th grade, you'll be able to join those merchant navy programs. Merchant navy, for the interest of people who don't know, is about, you'll be spending most of your time on the ship. These are the people who help in terms of transfer and logistics and planning, moving of goods from one country to another using a sea route, right? The working on the ports, working with those things. Yeah. Yeah, to gain commercial and private license, yes, as I talked about, there are multiple ways you can do it. Yeah, so if you need to have one-to-one conversation with me or my team, we're happy to do that. You can fix up an appointment. You can visit our branches, Buttonbird. Just show your interest that you need those one-to-one career guidance or a session. My team along with Buttonbird sir team will be happy to do that. Is MBBS best or cardiologist? Of course, Chetan, if you want to be a cardiologist is a specialization in the medical. So first you need to be a doctor, which is a basic graduation as an MBBS for like 3 or 4, 5 years you need to study. Then you can go for a master's in advance in cardiology. So then you'll become a cardiologist. Like that, there are multiple specialization, pulmonologist and urologist, and you would have seen many of those specialized doctors. The entry for them is the medical, yeah, MBBS. After that, you can become a more specialization. And there was one more question I saw, that is it good to go for a medical outside India? Of course, there are pros and cons of doing medical beyond India. Many of those medical degrees which is done outside India are not recognized in India. So when I say not recognized, you cannot just do a MBBS or a medical program somewhere outside and come to India and practice it. You need to clear an additional exam. There are certain protocols and clearance to be taken from an India government medical association. After that, you will be able to become a recognized medical practitioner in India, right? There are certain restrictions are available. So automobile, yes, of course, automobile, it's a huge area and an emerging area, right? From, you would have seen the trend in terms of electrical vehicles and hybrid vehicles. So there's a good amount of demand for automobile engineers, automobile designers, and all those stuff. Srijit is asking, what is the gaming? I don't have to tell that. You know how booming this gaming industry is. Of course, not everybody in the gaming industry makes money if you want to ask from a money perspective, but from a business perspective, from a job perspective, enough number of opportunities are available for animation designers, game designers, and stuff like that. Forensic, yes, Siri, there is good amount of demand in the market for forensic, because forensic is an emerging field. Not many colleges, not many universities are offering this program, very few of them. But of course, a word of caution, again, the job opportunities are limited, but it's picking up. And many a times it so happens that you end up studying certain things and don't expect that you will end up doing the exact thing what you studied. It will be a combination of what you have studied with a little bit of here and there is what you should be prepared for it. As you would have seen in one of my slide, be prepared. Whatever you are reading, whatever graduation you are doing, whatever study you are doing, probably you end up doing much beyond, or you end up doing other than what you have studied. But what is essential is learning those core skills and competencies and building that mindset to tackle those challenges. Okay. Business analyst has a good market. Yes, of course, business analyst is a very, very good market. You can approach it by even after doing an engineering in IT. You can do it after doing an MBA in IT or MCA. What business analyst typically requires is a combination of IT and business knowledge. A certain parameters, certain personality attributes are required to be a successful business analyst. If you are able to fulfill those along with your basic credentials, like maybe an engineering or an MBA kind of a thing, you will be able to get into a business analyst. We talked about automobile, we talked about gaming, we talked about any specific area for women entrepreneurship. Oh, very good, Dhanashri. If you look at social entrepreneurship is picking up big time. When I say social entrepreneurship, this is to do with nutrition, this is to do with beauty, cosmetics, this is to do with your elderly care, children care, health related thing, anything around food and nutrition and wellness, yoga, naturopathy, meditation, healing, mental wellness, counseling. These are the areas I have seen. There are special schemes are available for women entrepreneurs in our country, right at Karnataka government level or even at a India government level. There are funds available. There are programs available for women entrepreneurs. Like for example, IIM has a special program. If you have an idea, you want to set up your own business as a woman entrepreneur, they will give you a free education. They will also find you an investor as long as you have a passion to build your own business in that. It can be a fashion designing, it can be, as I said, healthcare, it can be nutrition related, it can be education related. The ample opportunities are available for women entrepreneurship. There are groups available, communities are available. You'll be able to build a successful thing. I like to be in a lifestyle, health industry, and trader. What is my stream? Yeah. Um, uh, Lishal, you're combining many things in the same thing, which is lifestyle, health, and trader. Well, trading and investment now has become like a secondary career for many of us, right? We do primarily what we are good at. For example, now I love teaching. I'm into training, coaching, and mentoring, and we work with Butt and Butt, go to colleges, go to corporates. We do many of these programs. Plus, I also do a trading, or I do an investment from an my own wealth generation perspective. So that could be one option. Or if somebody wants to really be an investor or want to be a what you call a professional investor or a trader, you can also choose that to be an option. All right. Sports can be a sports. Well, sports is one tricky part in India because while there are opportunities in terms of football or cricket or many of those tennis and all, but it's gradually opening it up. So I would say that I have seen people taking up a mainstream career as something else to start with in the first initial part of their life, and then gradually they transition into sports as a say a mainline career. Right. What I meant to say is they do graduation in maybe an engineering or MBA or something. They start earning their bread plus focus on building their sports capabilities, and then over a period of time, once they find the right opportunity, they get selected into either a main sports club or a sports event, then your actual sports career may kick in. But having said that, there are entry level sports coach, entry level fitness coach, entry level player kind of options are available. But again, it's a lot of combination we need to look into your family conditions, economical conditions, your own affinity to take a risk, and so on and so forth. I would it not be a straightforward answer. Many of these cases, as I said, when we do an counseling with a student and parent, we also look at many of these parameters. One is the scope of the job and your economical situation, your family situation, earning potential, and many of those things also play a role in terms of choosing the right career path, right? For example, you are in a situation where you'll not be able to fulfill your investments in terms of, say, a medical, right? There are alternates available to, as I said, Unani or Ayurveda or homeopathy, which is maybe lesser expensive way to get into your medical stream versus doing a mainstream. So we need to look at many parameters, and that's where we guide parents and students to have that holistic thinking before you make any career decisions. All right. So starting a company outside India, is it Is the scope for data science? Yes, data scientist is very, very prominent, very, very widely available. Yeah, AI and deep learning. Yes, good amount of job opportunities are available for AI and deep machine learning and data science and all those stuff. What next after doing aeronautical? Yes, after doing aeronautical, you have an option of either joining many of these aerospace companies as a design engineer, as a structure engineer, as a production engineer, or you can also join their fleet management. Fleet management is something which is coming up in India. It's not yet there. For example, if you look at many of these mumbo jumbo, both Airbus and Boeings, their entire what we call overhauling or maintenance of those aircraft is still not mainly done in India. That's coming as a major investments and major eco parks or aerospace parks are coming up in India. That will open up many opportunities for aerospace engineers in not just the design, but also service and maintenance and commissioning and all those stuff. Uh, there's a question on starting a company outside India useful or after studying, or I want to take my father's company in countries like, yes, of course, that's a great idea. Now, there are many import export options. And I think Satyaram sir is the right person to answer this question that, if you want to really be an entrepreneur, you can do anywhere from the world now with many uh, alliance between India and other countries. Sitting in India, you'll be able to open your branches in other countries, and you'll be able to do a lot of import, export, and other business opportunities. Are plenty of them are possible. Okay, so tell me about banking and its scope. Yes, banking. It used to be an evergreen kind of a job, but now it's kind of saturated. But again, having said that, it is still quite in a good demand. A lot of people after doing a commerce graduation and MBA, they get into these specialized banking exam programs preparation. For example, but we also help you in cracking some of those exams, right? So where you'll be able to do that. Very, very interesting questions. Thank you so much. I know this is a lot of curiosity and questions. So what I would recommend is visit our branch, enroll yourself for an one-to-one career counseling. If you are very, very keen to get those 70-page report along with a detailed guidance and sessions, very happy to do it along with my team. Thank you so much. You folks have been an awesome audience with a lot of interaction and questions. Yeah, so it was super duper. I'm very, very excited, very happy to be here sharing some of these my learnings. Thanks, a great gratitude, my heartfelt gratitude to Professor Satyaram Bhatt, the MD of Button Butt Tutorials, for giving this opportunity and providing a platform for many of us to come here and learn and share from each other's experiences. As I said, this is just a beginning, folks. So let's start this journey and wish you all the best for all the folks who are going to take up their examinations, the 10th grade in the this year. But those of you who are in 8th and 9th grade, you have ample time. Don't worry. We'll work together and make it happen. With that note, a thank you from bottom of my heart for all of you for being here, being a very, very engaging audience, and all the best. And we'll meet soon. Over to you, sir. All right. So, Vishwas sir, you can unmute Satyaram
Yeah.
sir.
Yes, thank you, sir. I hope all students and parents enjoyed the session. I hope everything was as expected. So, as a conclusion, I would like to say that the session was filled with insightful discussions and practical guidance on navigating academic and career choices. Sir has explored strategies for personal development, effective goal setting, and importance of aligning one's passion with their profession. So the interactive activities and QA segment brought out thought-provoking questions and inspiring conversations. I particularly like the young minds responding to your queries, sir. They all actively participated. It was very good to know. And it is truly wonderful to see such young minds putting thoughtful efforts into preparing for their future. and your proactive approach and eagerness to learn will pave the way for a bright and successful journey ahead. So remember, but this is from my side. So from experience, I am telling you this. Every field has sufficient scope in country like India, but success requires perseverance, resilience, and continuous development of expertise. So those who stay committed, adapt to change, and refine their skills will always find opportunities to grow and excel. So on behalf of Button-But Tutorials and Transformative Lab, we extend our heartfelt gratitude to each one of you for attending the Education and Career Path workshop today. Your enthusiasm, engagement, curiosity made this session truly enriching and impactful. So last but not the least, a special thanks to our esteemed guest speaker today, Professor Manjunath Rao, for sharing his invaluable insights and expertise. His guidance on career clarity, leadership, and personal development has undoubtedly inspired and empowered us all. So this 1.5 hour session is not sufficient. I am aware of that. So for further discussions and personalized career counseling, you may contact our counselor of Button-But Tutorials to schedule a one-on-one appointment. Professor Manjunath Rao and I are here to support and guide you every step of the way. So wishing you all the success and looking forward to see you in our future programs. Thank you one and all for participating in today's session. And thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you all. Take care. All right, closing the session. Yes, Vishwanath, you can close. Thank you all. Take care.
Thank you. Let's close the session, sir. Thank you very much.